Vamos a comenzar muy pronto. Vamos a comenzar. Voy a dar unas instrucciones acerca de la interpretación. We'll get started in just a few moments. I'll give some instructions around our language interpretation and how to participate in this webinar. En unos momentos voy a dar unas instrucciones alrededor de cómo participar en este foro y también acerca de la interpretación en español. So welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Muy buenas tardes. Muchas gracias por estar aquí. We'll get started in just a moment. Thank you so much for being here, taking time out of your day to join us for this very important webinar topic. So glad that you're here. Muy buenas tardes y muchas gracias por acompañarnos hoy día por este tema tan importante que tenemos el día de hoy. Algo que nosotros como padres estamos aprendiendo mucho alrededor de este tema también. So as parents, I know we're all learning about keeping our kids safe in the virtual world. So this is a very important topic, and I'm so glad that you're here. So let me just start with a few instructions. Just again, good afternoon and welcome to, my name is Megan Guerrero. Welcome to our local district central tech talk and more. Before starting our session, I want to inform you that this session will be presented in English and will have simultaneous Spanish interpretation. To listen to this presentation in Spanish, you would need to click on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen and select the language preference for you. It will say English or Spanish. You will engage and listen to the presentation in the language you select. If your device does not support interpretation, such as some Chromebooks, at this time, you may download the Zoom app on your phone to access the interpretation. Muy buenas tardes a todos y bienvenidos a nuestra charla tecnológica y más del Distrito Local Central. Soy la señora Guerrero, quiero darle la bienvenida y antes de comenzar nuestra sesión, quisiera informarles que esta sesión se presentará en inglés y tendrá interpretación simultánea en español. Para escuchar esta presentación en español, deberá hacer clic en el icono del globo terráqueo en la parte inferior de la pantalla y seleccionar el idioma que usted prefiera, que sea español, inglés, dice Spanish. Participará y escuchará la presentación en el idioma que usted seleccione. Si su dispositivo no admite interpretación, por ejemplo, en algunos Chromebooks, usted puede bajar la aplicación Zoom en su teléfono para poder escuchar la interpretación. Ahorita lo pueden hacer. I'd like to review also some important points so that you will understand that we understand how our participants can participate during today's session. During this webinar session, you will have an opportunity to ask questions of our panelists during the presentation. On your screen, you will see a Q&A. It has two talk bubbles. The Q&A on the bottom is where you can type your questions, and we will be answering as many questions throughout the presentation. And at the conclusion, if there's time, we will have our panelists answer some of those questions live as well. Also, this session is being recorded and will be posted to our YouTube channel if you want to share it or if you need to leave early and want to return to it later. So it will be recorded for your viewing later. So if we're all set up with our interpretation, how we can participate in the Q&A and in the chat, we will also share information. Please ask your questions in the Q&A. And now I'd like to introduce one of our parent educator coaches who will introduce our presenter. Thank you for bringing this important topic to our parents. Mr. Alex Campbell.
Thank you, Ms. Guerrero, for that wonderful introduction. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Alex Campbell. I am the parent educator coach here for SOLA and for HCA Community of Schools, and we welcome you to our Tech Talks and More, Digital Citizenship and Cyberbullying in the Virtual World. We're very glad that you are with us today for this very important Tech Talk. And no further ado, I want to introduce our presenter today, Ms. Talia Guppy. She is here from Human Relations and Diversity and Equity, Student Health and Human Services Division, to share with us this very important information. Please go ahead and take it away, Talia.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be back again. I was here in the spring and I'm back here again in the fall. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Like Alex said, my name is Talia Guppy, and I am the mental health practitioner for Local District Central for the Office of Human Relations, Diversity, and Equity. And today I'm here to talk about digital citizenship and cyberbullying in a virtual world. Alrighty, Alex, go ahead. So this is, as we are moving forward in LAUSD, this is the alignment with our strategic plan. So the content from this PD is applicable to the following pillars in our academic excellence, our joy and wellness, our engagement and collaboration as we work with all of you, our operational effectiveness, and investing in our staff and priorities. Okay, Alex. So this is our check-in. Just really quickly, if you could put in the chat, how many of you would rather go to the mountains or go to the ocean? So I know the weather is getting cooler. When I asked this a couple of weeks ago, everybody wanted to go to the ocean. But now I think it might be a little bit different, might be a little bit varied. So just kind of getting an idea of kind of thinking about what you would rather do today as it goes. I'm getting some ocean. Nice. I love the ocean. Getting some mountains too. Okay. Okay. So we're kind of getting split around here, which is good. We live in Southern California. You can go to either one. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for playing. So just wanted to see kind of where everyone was at, wake you up a little bit, think about it. Oh, somebody's saying, hey, both of them. Okay. Okay, got it. Got it. Perfect. Thank you so much. Alrighty, Alex, let's move us forward. So our objectives for today, so we're going to learn about cyberbullying and about digital citizenship. We're going to review some of the components of cyberbullying and what all of you can do to mitigate some of those risks. We're going to reflect on the ways families can work together to improve digital citizenship and reduce some of that cyberbullying. And then we're going to explore a really good resource that I think is going to be very helpful for all of you. All righty, Alex, go ahead. So we get this all the time, but why? So we know that this is new, almost exclusive virtual world we're living in, and it's very difficult. This is very different than how you and I all grew up. We did not grow up like this. So a lot of times we don't even realize some of the things that are happening and how to handle ourselves in our virtual world, let alone our kiddos. So if we don't know how to do it, how do we expect our kiddos to? So it's our responsibility to be able to teach them what digital citizenship is and how to monitor the use of these devices, which is going to be difficult, but we're going to walk through it. We're going to get through it together. So let's start with sharing. Are you able, Alex, to put that into that link into a separate tab?
Yes, I'll go ahead and do that. Hold on.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So just a little info about this. Sharing is when our parents put pictures of us or little videos of us on their social media. So like my mom sharing something about a picture of me or a video of me on her Facebook or on her Instagram that I didn't necessarily say was okay for her to do, but everybody else gets to see it, right? And she's usually doing it because she's proud of me, or she wants to show her friends or the people on her page, something, but it might not be something that I wanted her to do. It may not be something I wanted her to share, but she's sharing it. And so that's what it's called, sharenting, like parenting, but sharenting. And so this is something that happens and that we do as parents without even thinking about it. And sometimes our kiddos have something to say about it. And so that's what this little video is. If it doesn't work, that's okay, Alex. Sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't work on mine.
We got it. Hold on.
You got it? Okay, perfect. That is wonderful.
Do you see the video?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
there.
Okay, I'm gonna start it.
Lucy, I'm 7 years old, and my mom posted pictures of me online.
I'm Elmer, I'm 18 years old. My mom shares too much about me online.
I'm Zoya, I'm 16 years old, and my mom shares my whole life.
If you're gonna be so worked up about it, then I'll take it down, but I don't agree with you, just for the record. Why are we here today?
Talk about the photos.
¿En Facebook?
Yes. You want
¿Por
to see?
qué?
Let me show you a few.
This.
What's the big deal? I think you look so cute and it was a nice moment. What's wrong with it?
Because you didn't ask.
I also think of it as connecting to other people that I know in real life, Like just think like Abu and Grandpa, like how else do they know about you guys except to see you there?
You can call and FaceTime.
Yeah.
You can do many other stuff to see them instead of social media.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good point.
By age 5, the average kid has 1,500 photos of them online.
¿Y por esas fotos estamos aquí, no?
Technically, yes.
No lo puedes cambiar. O sea, ustedes son mi orgullo, no pueden cambiar nada.
It's a photo where I'm shirtless and I'm not ready for a photo.
Yo pienso que todos los papás hacemos eso. Yo la subo, yo no veo nada malo, tú tienes ropa abajo. Está todo privado y solo mis amistades y mi familia pueden ver todo.
All it takes is one person and one hack, and there goes all your privacy. Remember when I was getting my debit card?
No, pero no puse los números de tu
No, I know you didn't, but it was like los números, como el address estaba ahí.
No, ahí no
atrás
está
en
el
los
address.
papeles. Yeah,
No,
los
sí,
papeles,
pero-
como papeles que dicen mi nombre completo, tú sabes, cosas que son privados.
Posiblemente sí, eso sí, estuvo mal de mi parte.
Okay. By 2030, parents sharing about their kids online will account to 2/3 of identity fraud.
What is everybody so worried about? The sauce on the face photo, like what is it going to do that is like wrecking everybody's life in their imagination?
I think the sauce on the face photo, that's just an embarrassing photo. But, the photo of me in a bathing suit. Someone out there could look at my body and think something of me that I wouldn't want them to think.
But you go on the beach in those clothes, and strangers could take photos of you on the beach and do what they want with those photos.
But you're my parent. You're my mom.
Right. Yeah, I would think about that, yeah.
You would. So now you would say that you would consider.
Maybe. Not really. Unless we stop taking vacations together and stop having good times together, it would actually, honestly, would be depressing if I couldn't document it for Insta. If it's not on Insta, it didn't even happen.
You really feel that way?
Yeah, because, yeah. So do you think kids should have veto power, the ability to say, please take that down, you have to?
I absolutely think the kids should have veto power. And again, it's because of how aware I am of the implications of the digital footprint that I say that. Some facts. In France, kids can sue their parents for sharing too much about them.
I mean, what should I say? They just don't know what they're doing, France.
If I'd asked you about that picture, would you be okay if I posted it?
Yes.
Oh, really? So it's actually about the asking, not about the picture itself.
Posting any private information or anything online should be my call.
I really try to limit the amount of things I aggravate you with. And if a photo or an upload is causing so much aggravation, is it worth it? It's probably not. So I understand where you're coming from.
Wow.
I've been getting paid $1,000 a month, if not.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you so much. So when I first saw that little video, it was pretty eye-opening. I mean, I know this stuff and still it was eye-opening to hear, from Carla Diaz says, wow, I never thought about privacy. Absolutely. Absolutely. And our kids, if you think about it, they absolutely have a right to privacy, and they're right. We don't know what other people online are going to do with those photos. For those of you who don't know, many of you already know that LAUSD was cyber attacked, I think almost 2 weeks ago now. And we have a ton of security on our things, a ton, and yet we were still cyber attacked. And that could happen on our private things much easier than it could happen at LAUSD. And so you think about that and all of the things that we have on our computers, and then that's about things that we share, and people attack Facebook and Instagram and all those things all the time. And we hope that those things aren't accessed by, people who are doing bad things with them, but it happens. And so we really need to be careful of the stuff that we're posting, because we don't know what people are going to do with that information. So it's a good reminder that even though we're just wanting to share about our lives and our children, or we're proud of them, we don't know how other people are going to use that information. So now we're going to talk a little bit about cyberbullying. So this is when someone repeatedly and intentionally harasses, mistreats, or makes fun of another person online, or while using phones or other electronic devices. Now, this has become such a huge problem. Before, when I was growing up, it was just bullying, in person at school, and people handled it in person while we were there. Now, there's this stuff that happens behind a computer. And sometimes it seems like they're braver behind a computer because they don't have to face that person in person. And so this has become a very big problem, and it has come onto campus a lot. And so we're going to talk about how to handle that. Go ahead, Alex. So here are some hallmarks of cyberbullying. So electronic means anything that's over text, that's over social media, that's over email or video gaming. And it happens in all of those. It's usually posted anonymously, and it can be distributed quickly and widely. So if any of you have ever experienced anything like this or seen it happen with any students or your own children, then it goes viral very, very quickly. Because it can be posted anonymously, it can be very difficult to trace. There are ways of tracing it, but it can take time. Deleting inappropriate or harassing messages. or text or pictures, that's difficult, because a lot of what our students don't understand and our kids don't understand is once it's out there, it's out there. You can't take it back. It's worse than the toothpaste scenario. You know, once you push the toothpaste out, you can't get it back. It's worse than that. There's a stamp on it. It goes here, it goes to Insta. Somebody copied it, they put it somewhere else, and tracking all of that is very difficult to get rid of. And then the person who posts it, because it's over a computer, they don't see the reaction of the victim. They don't see the damage they've caused. They don't see how badly that person is impacted. And so it even doesn't allow them to feel that guilt or that shame or that little bit that says, hey, that wasn't okay. You know, I see what I've done. And so that makes it really hard also to get it to stop. Okay, go ahead, Alex. So some special concerns of bullying. So today's youth, here's the thing, has 24/7 access to their digital devices. It makes it really difficult for the person who's being bullied to find any relief from it. You know, there was back in the day, I'm going to age myself here, when, you know, the TV after the news, it shut off. You know, you got the rainbow screen and then it went shh with the snow on the screen. That doesn't happen anymore, right? The internet is going 24/7, the phones are going 24/7. So this is constantly going. Their phones are going off, they're getting dings and messages. That stuff is going on and on and on. So it doesn't stop. This cyberbullying is going on and on and on. And then a lot of these things, it's permanent. Once it's communicated electronically, it's permanent and it's public. I know Snapchat, the kids like Snapchat because they think it goes away. It does not go away. There's an IP address attached to it. There's a timestamp attached to it. Those things can be found. So even if it's deleted, the images can stay. There's a cloud, right? Everybody knows about the cloud. It stays somewhere. And then it can be hard to identify. Teachers, parents, and other adults, they might not overhear what's going on. They might not witness it because, you know, the kid's sitting in their room with a laptop or with the phone, and so they don't know what's actually happening. So that can make it difficult to know what's happening. Okay, go ahead, Alex. So what can you do? So learn to differentiate, like what bullying is and what it's not. Educate yourself about it. Empower your youth, empower your child, your students, and ensure open lines of communication. This is so, so, so important. Make sure that your students and your children, that they feel like they can talk to you about what's happening and what's going on. That is one of the key things, that they're able to come to you and tell you so that you can have an opportunity to step in and to advocate for them. Okay, Alex, go ahead. So here's the differentiating part. So what's bullying versus teasing? So bullying is unwanted, and the intention behind it is to hurt somebody. You're intending to hurt their feelings, you're intending to do some sort of harm, and you're not trying to be friends with them, okay? Now teasing, it can be hurtful, but you're not trying to hurt them. And the whole point is to preserve the friendship. You're trying to get close to them. Now, the way I like to explain it and give kind of an explanation and a scenario is with friends and family. So I don't tease somebody that I don't know. I will tease with somebody who's my friend, who's my family. For example, in my family, we're Mexican. And my uncle likes to say that we're very rich in our family, not because we have a lot of money, but because we have BMWs, and BMW stands for Big Mexican Women. Now, he says that and he's laughing and we're joking and it's rude, of course, and it's kind of mean, but he's teasing, and it's a way like It's meaning a love language. That's how he teases. That's how he shows us his love. But he wouldn't say that to people he didn't know. And he wouldn't, we wouldn't do it that way. But, and I wouldn't tease somebody that I didn't know. And if somebody outside of my family said something like that, I would be totally upset and angry. But because it's family, it's more of a teasing. It's not bullying. Now, bullying versus conflict. In this situation, bullying's one-sided and there's an imbalance of power. So one person has more power and is the aggressor than the other one. So the other one can't really fight back. Whereas conflict, both people are at the same level. No one has any power over the other, and you're just having a disagreement. So I like to use the example of like two teenagers, and they one likes the Raiders and one likes the 49ers, right? We're going into football season. Hey, I'm a Raider fan. And they're going back and forth about whose team's better, and they're going to play each other. And you'll hear them talking, and your team sucks, and because your quarterback, blah, blah, blah. And this one, no, your team sucks because your quarterback, whatever. And they're not necessarily, no one has power over the other, and they're going back and forth. And yeah, they may be saying some things like that, like, oh, your quarterback sucks. Oh, but your kicker sucks, whatever. But it's not necessarily a power struggle. They're just having a conflict. But say a big 12th grader comes over. They're at school and a big 12th grader comes over, and they're having this little argument, this little conflict. And the 12th grader comes over and he's like, oh, you guys are so stupid. I don't know why you guys are talking about this stuff. You're a bunch of idiots. And he's like, looking over them and telling other people, look how stupid they are and whatever. And this happens all the time with this guy. He does this to them all the time. That's different. He's got power. He's bigger than them. He's 12th grade, and he's doing it over and over. That would be the bullying. But them going back and forth about what team's better, that's just a conflict. Okay, go ahead, Alex. So educating yourself. So nomophobia is fear of being away from your phone. So we have gotten so dependent on my phone, on your phones, our phones, that we don't know what to do when they're not there. Our kiddo, and we didn't grow up with them, but we get like that. Our kids, this generation grew up with having phones, so they're even worse. It's just how it is. It's just how things are. Okay, so go ahead, Alex. The device has become an extension of ourselves. It's just how it is. It's something we got to look at. It's something that, and if it's become an extension of ourselves, then we should know everything that comes with it. How to use it, how to protect ourselves with it, how to protect ourselves against things that can be negative about it. Okay, go ahead, Alex.
Can I actually say something?
Please, of course.
So I have a 8-year-old daughter, and speaking of the device becoming an extension of herself, and having this slide that shows like a baby won't get rid of the bottle. It's actually a tablet. My daughter, she will literally walk around the house with the tablet. I'll say, Mija, come here, and then you'll see her like this, and I'll say, what are you doing? Like go to your room, and then you'll see her like this. Like it is in her hand, and then so what we started doing is we have to explain it to her that the expectation is not that she travels around the house with the device, because in addition to the extension of herself, she has dropped it. Like, so this was when we were going through COVID. We got her a tablet to be on her class. So she dropped it, and it's dangerous. But then there is no need to have it that close to you. So we now have a location where she puts the tablet, it's on the desk, and it stays there. And then she can come back to it when she has her tablet time. She doesn't, so this is something that we instituted because my wife and I did not like seeing her walking around the house like it was glued to her hand. And then so that is what it reminds me of. And you're exactly right. It is because she grew up in this world, and then we thrust it upon her because the school is shut down that you have to have this device. Now we have to put up safeguards.
Yep.
And I think that this is why this presentation is very informative for us parents, because this is something that we need to know on how to do these safeguards for our own kids.
Absolutely. We had to do the exact same thing with our daughter, Alex, same exact thing. And it became really hard with COVID because that was too their extension to the outside world. We were inside for like 18 months.
Yes.
That was the only way they were able to connect. It was really, really hard. Let's see, Carla Diaz says, I have a 9-year-old asking me for a cell phone because their classmates already have one. I don't know, can I handle that because now everyone has one? I completely understand, Carla. My 12-year-old, he does not have a cell phone, and he's one of very few kids at his school who does not have a cell phone. And I'm like, I'm sorry, love, I know. And yeah, my daughter's 9, she does not have a cell phone, but most of the kids at her school have a cell phone. And definitely by junior high, 95% of the kids have cell phones. And yeah, I understand, Carla. My kids don't. I've told them, no, I'm not getting you a cell phone. And now you have a million around you. So if an emergency happens, grab one of your friends' phones, ask them to share, or something. Everybody's got one. But it's really, really hard.
Can I actually say something to that also? My kids also don't. I have 2 kids. I have an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old, and my kids don't have a cell phone. But something that my son does have is a smartwatch. So something, and I specifically got him this. So I got him at his 10th birthday, or was it his 9th birthday? It was during the COVID time. So where we were at home more, but then it was the point where we got tired of our kids being in the house. So we sent them out in the neighborhood because we needed socialization. And then so I got him this smartwatch for my son, and I did it as a stopgap measure because I did not want to get him a phone. I do not want to open up that Pandora's box, and I'm still having it closed. But the purpose of the smartwatch is we can communicate. And it's not a smartwatch in the sense that what an adult might have. It is a kid smartwatch that there is a parenting app that goes along with it. So you can monitor what he or she does on the smartwatch. For example, he only have 10 contacts, and then so he can only contact 10 people. And they're the people who we put in on the app. And so it's family, family members, his uncle, cousins, stuff like that. And I find it very useful because in addition to that, it has a GPS feature that allows us to track where the watch is. And then so we can text him, and he can't text back. He can text preloaded messages. So I would offer that up to any parent who is on the trying to avoid buying their child a watch, or I'm sorry, a phone, and to look into the kids' smartwatches, because it is I think a really good way to allow your kids some independence because they are growing up, but then to also keep them from the outside world, which is the internet, which is very, in my opinion, very, very dangerous. And I don't think that it is necessary at such a young age.
Yeah.
I know I didn't get a phone in literally till I was 21 years old. So I was able to go to the military before I had a cell phone, and vote before I had a cell phone.
Right. That's wonderful, Alex. Do you mind sharing what brand that is? Or
Yes,
what?
yes. It's the Explorer, and actually I'll put it in the chat for
That'd be great.
families.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's go ahead and move forward on this one. Okay, so what if your child is getting bullied online? First one, don't respond. Now, this is really hard for the teenagers because they want to respond right away. They want to do a clap back, they want to send something, and we definitely don't want to have them engage. So don't respond. Print the thread or save a screenshot, take a picture, whatever you can do to keep that information, report it to the school, to the sites, to authorities, cut off the communication. So block them, report them, whatever you need to do. And here's the one that you're going to want to do, but we're going to tell you not to do it. Do not take away the child's device. Do not stop them from using the device, because here's the thing is it's the other child, whoever's doing the bullying, it's their behavior. It's not your child's behavior. Okay, so we don't want to punish them for something that is not their fault. Okay, and this is going to make it seem like it is. So don't take it away. We're just going to put those safeguards around it. So don't respond, print the thread, save it, take a screenshot of it, whatever you need to do so that you have the proof. Report it to the school, report it to the site, report it to the police, do a report, and then cut off the communication, block them, report them to the, like Facebook has a reporting, Instagram has a reporting, Twitter has a reporting, whatever that happens, need to do that and block them. And then, don't take away the device. Okay, go ahead, Alex. So how can you support your child? So if your child comes to you and says, hey, mom or dad, tío, tía, this is going on, grandma, grandpa, clarify first what's going on. Could it have been a misunderstanding? Was it a conflict? Was it teasing? Was it directed at them? Was the other person or people, were they, targeting them? Was it malicious? Find out, what was happening before, what happened while it was going on, and then what happened afterwards, so you can get an idea of the context. Explore some ways with the child. What are some ways that you can handle the situation? Encourage the child, is there something that we can do? Like, okay, are we gonna talk with the teacher? Are we gonna talk with the principal? Do we need to avoid this person? Is this somebody that you actually have a relationship with, that you can talk to about it? What are some different options that we can do? And then remember that to understand the difference between what's happening virtually and what happens with people in real life, because those are very different, right? Like we talked about in over the computer, that's a different understanding than in real life. We can say things and do things behind a computer because sometimes we feel braver than we would in real life. And so helping your child to understand those things too, that's a different set of social skills. And so kind of talking with them about that. Okay, Alex, go ahead and move forward. So how do we protect our kids? So taking care to set some clear boundaries for your expectations of how your child will care for their device. Alex brought up a perfect example with his daughter about, okay, you have this tablet. Now there's going to be time to be on the tablet. And when you're not on the tablet, this is where it goes, right? Emphasize who maintains ownership of the device. Like, look, we're going to buy this, this Chromebook, this tablet, this phone, whatever it is. And yes, it's yours. However, I still own it. So what does that mean? That means I'm going to be able to look through it. I'm going to need passwords. I'm going to need whatever it is that you all decide is fair. Then you need to have that conversation with your child. So staying safe, working with your child to set rules and limits around the privacy and passwords, like we just started to talk about, And have a list of safe grown-ups that your child can go to with questions about things they encounter online. So I want my kid to be able to come to me and talk to me about things. But I also know that there may hit an age where he won't feel comfortable talking to me about certain things. And you know what? I'm okay with that as long as he has people that I feel like are safe adults that he can trust, that he can go to talk to about it. So who are those people in their lives? Right? So, you know, having that conversation with them, that if there's something that's going on, there's something that they encounter online, and let me tell you, they will encounter inappropriate things online. It's going to happen, and it's not their fault. Things are going to pop up. My kid looked up something about Mickey Mouse, and something came up on, you know, on the side where a little pop-ups come up, and it was these inappropriate dancers. And all he typed in was Mickey Mouse. He showed me, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? But one of these dancers had something in their dance routine, something Mickey Mouse, something. That's all it takes. And it had nothing to do with my son looking for anything inappropriate, but there it was, an ad. And if he had clicked on one of those ads, it would have brought him to something else that was even more inappropriate. So, you know, they're going to encounter things which could lead to some questions and lead to some things. So we need to be able to know that they have safe people to talk to. So then think first, reminding your children, please remind your children that anything that goes online, it doesn't get deleted. It says can be deleted. It should say cannot be deleted. Sorry about that. You can't take it back. It's there. And these things, they follow you. They follow them to college. They follow them to jobs. There are students who have not been able to get into college or get that job because of things that have been posted online. Okay, engage in discussions about how their online posts can impact their reputation and reputation of others. That's compared to, you know, getting into college, compared to getting a job, that's low on the totem pole. However, yes, of course, you know, their friends, their peers, their teachers, they're going to see these things, and it's not good. And then help your child to learn to fact check. So this is huge because, you know, our kids right about when they hit middle school, then we don't know anything and their friends know everything, right? So I'm in that area with my child right now. And so, you know, my son will tell me, oh, my friend Jacob said this. And I'm like, actually, you know, it's this and this. And he's like, oh, no, it's not. Jacob said. I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'm like, well, maybe you should Google it. And then he Googles it and he's like, oh. I'm like, okay. So, not to say that Jacob meant to be wrong, but he was wrong. So maybe you should not maybe, you know, take everything that they say as fact. You got to look into it yourself sometimes, you know? So teach them that. Teach them how to fact check things and not to take everything they hear or say or see online as fact. Okay, Alex, go ahead and move forward.
I wanted to say about that I also had that same experience with my daughter, and it was that she saw something on a YouTube video and she said, "Oh, it must be true, Daddy. It has to be." And then I said, "Okay, you don't believe me? Talk to your mother." And we were both saying the same thing, but it didn't matter. So what we actually did is we actually went and did what she saw on the YouTube video to show her. And then at the end, the lesson was, just because you see it online, just because you see it on TV doesn't mean it's true. And I want you to remember this the next time, that you could try it out yourself. And it took several times before she is now understands that, okay, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it is, that I saw it, that it's true. And so our kids are going to be thinking that they know more than their parents, or if I saw it here, or if somebody told me this, that this is what it is. It must be true. I like the suggestion that you said to Google it. I know my daughter is a very visual person. So to go on with the test of going through with what she saw and showing how it is not true for her, I think was made it concrete. So I'll take that also advice also to Google it. I know I have my son. My son is a little different than my daughter, but for him, it's more like what you have with your son, as in it's his friend versus the internet. So thank you for that piece of advice. I would throw that also out to other parents as well, is to try to play it out to its logical conclusion, and to show them that what they saw, just because they saw it, didn't make it true.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Alex. And you can go ahead and move me forward now. So empowering our kids about staying balanced, discussing and setting device time limits, so how long they get to be online or use their device, exploring and engaging your child in other activities that they enjoy, not just being on their devices, and helping your child recognize when or what online activities cause them distress and how to stop. Sometimes they get onto things that they don't realize are making them stressed or making them feel a certain way. And that can be for us. We may see it. We may think, gosh, every time they play this certain game, they're really aggressive afterwards. They're really angry afterwards, but we see it. They don't realize it, but we see it. And so we may have to bring that to their attention and help them to say, hey, maybe not playing that game, or maybe you play that game for like 15 minutes and then you play something else. Because they may not be able to handle that level of aggression yet. They may not be able to transition that yet. Communicating openly, again, keeping those communication lines open so that your child feels safe to be able to talk to you, and being ready to listen when they need to be open with you about something. And not necessarily trying to fix it for them or to correct it, just listening. At first, just listening and practicing that before we offer any correction. And be prepared to compromise. Our kids are smart, right? So now, like we talked about, this is a huge part of our kids' lives, this technology. And so we're not going to win a battle where it's about taking it away. That's just not going to happen. And even if we try to take it away at home, they're going to be on it at school. So let's figure out a way that's going to work for both. Okay, so listen to what they want to share about their interests, what they're doing online, so that you can understand and you can hear it. And even if you don't understand it, or they're sharing things, say, okay, well, show me what you're doing. And then if there's something going on, then you can say, well, this is what concerns me about it. And because you've taken an interest, they'll be much more willing to listen to what your concerns are. Okay, Alex, go ahead. So this is one of our really important, I think, resources. It's from Common Sense Media online, and this is a family media agreement. Now, I know if I present this to my child, to my 12-year-old, and say, okay, we're going to do this agreement, he's going to be like, yeah, right, whatever. So you see, it's from K through 5, so kindergarten through 5th grade, but this is something that you could use to just kind of help yourself about how to talk to your child about this stuff, about staying safe, about thinking first, about staying balanced, just those things that we reviewed. And the cool thing is, Common Sense Media, it has everything in English, it has in Spanish. And so it's really, really awesome. And it's on their website. It's commonsensemedia.org. And it'll be on a couple of the next slides. Go ahead and move forward, Alex, and we'll get right through it. So this is the website, Common Sense Media. And on that site, you can click English and Spanish, and it has all these different areas. Thank you, Megan, for putting that in there, Ms. Guerrero. I appreciate that. It's wonderful. So on there, if you move forward, Alex, it'll show, you can put, here's the Spanish, part of the Spanish page, and you can put from the age, you can put the type, what platform you want, and you can put in the names of shows, the names of books, the names of movies. Go ahead and move forward, Alex. And for example, here, they put in the show and it gives the age that it's appropriate for. And then you'll see, if you go to the next page, Alex, what the site says about it. It'll give you what the parents need to know on all the reviews on that. And if you go forward, what the parents say about it and some different reviews from parents, and then go forward, Alex, what the kids say about it. So kids have written reviews about it. And then if you go forward again, that's the kids. And so it's really helpful to get an idea of some of those things where you're like, oh, I heard this, or there's a big movie out and you're like, I don't know if I should let my child watch it, or there's a book that they want to read and you haven't heard about it. You can pop it in there and it'll tell you all the information about it. So it's, oh, we have Ms. Guerrero. So Ms. Guerrero used it. That's very cool. About what to let her kids watch. That's awesome.
I use it quite frequently also. It is
awesome, Alex.
And also what I like about there, they do have it, it's a new tab is a diversity, and it'll speak to if the content is diverse, or the level of diversity that the content has. Something that I do is that I'm real big on showing my daughter that women can do anything that men can do. Mm-hmm. And so they talk about when they do the synopsis of the content, they'll tell you if it's a heroine or a hero, and then the positive for girls. It is quite a great site that I would recommend to all parents.
That's really, really awesome. That's great. It's good to have people who use it to share that information. Oh, that's so awesome. Great, great, great. And so that is my presentation for the day, everyone. And we have enough time for a few questions, I think, before you have some follow-up, right, Alex?
Yes, we do have a couple of announcements, and but we've been answering the questions that have popped up, as well as in the chat. Let's see, do we have another question? We have a comment. Thank you so much. Thanks. Thank you so much for very helpful. I'm glad I logged in.
Great.
So we have a lot of grateful parents out there, like myself, for this resource. I was not aware of the parent commitment that Common Sense has, that letter. That's actually something that I'll look for to go along to help me out with my daughter.
It's great. Yeah. It really is great. Yes. Thank you everyone for having me. If you have any further questions or any other concerns, please feel free to reach out. Alex and Ms. Guerrero know how to get in contact with me, and we'll do so if you need any support. I'm the local district central person, so please feel free. And I'm sure that I will see all of you again in the future for some upcoming trainings. Thank you, everyone. Yes. Have a wonderful afternoon.
And thank you very much for the wonderful presentation today. We really feel so welcome, and we still feel so fortunate that you're able to share this with our families.
Absolutely, anytime. Bye, everyone.
So we're going to continue going, and now we're going to go on with our announcements.
Stick around for our announcements. We have a few important things to share with our families. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. So families, we have a wonderful opportunity for you to engage with the work that we do. And so we want to inform you about the Family Academy that is happening Monday and Wednesday evenings from 5:30 to 7 p.m. We're looking for all the families who are interested. Please take a screenshot of the of this link. Matter of fact, could somebody put the link in the chat? And then you'll be able to access it, so that it's a Wednesday. So if you have time this evening after the presentation, please see if you can join the Family Academy. In addition to that, families, right now we are forming school site councils and English language and English learner advisory committees. So the SSC and ELAC, please ask your schools. I know that there are schools are having meetings tomorrow and Friday and next week as well to form these councils and committees. So if you want to stay involved in your school, this is a wonderful way to do so. So we ask you to talk to your school site about the councils and committees. And if they've already been formed, that's okay. Then you can ask about when the next meeting is that you can participate in. And so these are a wonderful way to stay informed and what's going on in your school and to have your voice be heard. So now I'd like to share with you about our LCAP session. Our LCAP session is next Thursday. I'm sorry, I was gonna say this Thursday. It's next Thursday, September 29th at 9:30. We invite all parents to come to our meeting. We already started this. I believe we had the first one, I believe about a week and a half ago, and we had a great turnout. And this is session 2. And we ask you to come again. It's on September 29th at 9:30. If you're interested, please look at the bit.ly link on the page. This is a wonderful time to take a screenshot so you can participate in our LCAP study group session, session 2. Now, families, tomorrow we're having another workshop, another powerful workshop for our families. This workshop deals with suicide awareness. It's a parent workshop to go over and teach us parents the tools about what are the at-risk behaviors that we can notice in our children if they're having difficulty with difficulty in school and with possibly mental illness, and they might be going down the road and thinking about contemplating suicide. So September is Suicide Prevention Month, and we wanted to bring this powerful workshop to you so we can identify the warning signs in our own students. So tomorrow at Friday at 9:30, we're having the workshop. So please join us. This is a wonderful time that you can take a screenshot, and so you have the Zoom link. But in addition to that, I know I'm giving you a lot of information. Please know that your school sites have the information as well, that you can ask them about the workshop and they could direct you to the link. This is our PACE staff communication slide that shows all of us who are the PACE coaches here for local district central, and all of us here are willing to work and help out each of our families. We have myself, we have Cyrene, who is here, Ms. Saint Amant, we have Boris, who's helping in Highland Park, and Mr. Contreras, Ms. Lomelli, and Ms. Vilma Monson, and we have our PACE admin, Ms. Megan Guerrero, who is here. And so please, families, reach out to us in local district central when you have a concern about any of our workshops, or you have questions. We're more than happy to help. Ms. Guerrero, did you want to close with anything?
Thank you so much. Just as a wrap up for our topic today, please reach out to your child's school even if it's something that's happening on the phone at home, maybe where you see some texts or some pictures or some comments that you feel like are affecting your child. Please let your child's school know. There might be things coming up at school that the staff doesn't realize are coming from posts online or text groups that the kids create. And I encourage you to reach out with what you're seeing at home. so that the school can help you take care. I saw a few comments about, some situations around bullying and scenarios that were coming up. And I just encourage you to reach out. And if you don't feel like you get the support that you need, then please reach out to us and we can support you as well. So I just wanted to say, we strive to bring you important topics here each Wednesday. And thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you, Mr. Campbell, Ms. Saint Amant, and everyone who joined us today. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everyone.